We now know the semi-final lineup. We will have Belgium against France on the Tuesday.
The bracket's easy to work out now, isn't it?
Well, I think you can just about work it out.
Think so?
I think you can certainly still see the easier side. Croatia and England, meanwhile, is the game on the Wednesday. Let's just take a look at the early odds according to the bookies. England, 6-4 on favourites to advance to the World Cup final. Croatia, 6-5. Ali?
I feel like you're coming to me first because I've denied you the opportunity of having me jump on the bandwagon.
Yes, no, exactly, yeah.
Well, that's over.
Is it?
I'm going all in.
It's coming home?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what home is, but it's going somewhere. And I do think that this English national team makes it to the final.
Why? What's the difference? What have you seen that has changed your
Well, one of them he just mentioned, Craig, that Croatia perhaps is not as good as we thought they were. Maybe everybody looked good against Argentina.
Yeah.
Everybody has looked great against Argentina, and Croatia did as well. And I just didn't really like the fact that there were moments today where they could have controlled the game better, and they didn't. I think England can do that against Croatia, and I think there's athleticism from England that can be superior to the back line of Croatia. So in the end, the balance goes to England, and yes, they make it to the final.
England will win, I think, against Croatia.
Croatia. You're Mr. Negative.
No, I think England will win. Croatia's wide players, I think, will be taken back. You like that, don't you? Trippier and Bayer, because that's what they did in the previous game, I think, against Denmark. So I think England will win the game. They will control the game.
Who surprised you, Robert? Obviously, we haven't spoken to you for a couple of weeks. There's all this
And water in the garden.
In what?
In life in general.
Players or
Which player have you thought, wow, I didn't quite think that he would bring what he has to the table?
In terms of the England?
Yes, yes.
I think every single player has done better than I thought he would. I would say that Lingard has done much, but he didn't play his best today. But I wouldn't have had him in the team at the start of the tournament. But now he's making those runs from midfield. Yep. He's been quite dynamic. Trippier, there's always the talk, was Walker going to play as the wing-back or was it going to be Trippier? Were they going to bring somebody else in at centre-half? But Trippier, who lacks athleticism when it comes to defending, has done really well. And he's got lots of crosses in, so he's certainly surprised me.
Right back, best right back in the tournament.
Right wing-back.
Right wing back. Of course. Early thoughts looking ahead to this game?
I think England, I honestly think England will get to the final. Just stop singing that bloody song.
Please.
It's coming home.
That won't help.
I've nothing, no other qualms about England winning. Stop singing that song.
You were singing it earlier.
It's in my head.
It's in everybody's head.
Look, Croatia have got some great players. But England had a bit of a stroll for 90 minutes compared to that 120 that they've just played.
Back-to-back 120s.
Back-to-back 120s and injuries. Is there a plan for Modric and Rakitic? I don't know what Gareth's going to... I don't think he's going to change anything. No. But I just think England are in a good place. The back three are working great. Keepers been in great form. And I think the game will open up more. And we'll see a better Dele Alli and Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling. So I'm going to go for England.
Yeah, well, when we did our, whatever it was called, the predictor thing. Is it
match predictor?
Yeah. I had England losing this game, but it was 10 days ago. And now I've seen Croatia.
You can't change your predictor now.
Can't I?
Because you've got the semi-final lineup exactly.
I got the 4 teams. Yeah, but
that's why you brought that up.
No, you brought it up.
Well, you brought up the bracket.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I brought
that bracket. When I did that once.
I brought up this.
He manoeuvred you to the bracket.
I brought up this particular game. I said I didn't say the other 2 teams on the other side. But I had England losing. But now I've seen Croatia against Denmark and tonight. I don't think they've got that much up front to worry England. I thought Rebic and Kramaric are not that good. Mandzukic plays on the periphery. He doesn't play like a centre-forward anymore. I think as he's got older, he's drifted back towards Rakitic and Modric and wants to play in there. And I don't think they'll hurt England. I think England will go through.
Modric and Rakitic never played high enough.
They didn't play high enough, no.
So, and Kramaric playing in that hole behind, just didn't do anything. Scored the goal, but
England's back three look as if they can control that forward line of Croatia
I don't think
with ease.
Kramaric won't play.
He won't. I think Brozovic will play.
But that means that Rakitic and Modric might play a little bit further forward, but then there's not that much support for Mandzukic if the 2 wide players end up going in deeper areas.
I just think it's, as a Scotsman, I don't mind. I just think I think England will get to the final. I think the playing out of France and Belgium's a completely different
game.
Yeah,
different
right?
Game, yeah.
But I do think England, and from what I've seen, if they're as switched on as what they have been, I think they'll beat this Croatia side, who are a good side.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I think there'll be more space to operate, and I think that's going to suit England.
Where's
We all agree. We all agree that England's going.
So that's
through.
Croatia going
What
through.
could possibly go
I
wrong?
know, we've got 3 days as well. What's the weakness, Robbo?
Weakness for England, I don't think there are too many weaknesses at the moment. If they, against Modric and Rakitic in midfield, and if they've got to play somebody else in there, Brozovic, could they be outplayed in that area? That could be the only area. But I don't think when they do outplay England in that area, have they got the threat going forward? So can England get enough domination of that midfield to get their wide players high up the field, to get crosses into the box?
Wide players.
Why are we even playing?
And
England's going to win the whole thing. Why are we even playing?
We're
You
winning
kidding me?
on set plays as well.
What's happened to you in your break, Robbo?
Yeah.
Normally you're Debbie Downer. Now you're here singing on
Debbie
I've seen England
Downer.
play recently.
Right,
That'd be much better.
finish your show by singing "It's Coming Home."
Yeah.
Just got the whole hog.
Can't do that.
Don't do that, Robbo.